you see an incredibly significant pharma lobbying operation. And this next Congress that we have just started, you're going to see the largest, most significant psychedelic lobbying effort in history. Last Congress, you saw the most significant psychedelic lobbying effort in history. What we're about to see is unlike anything you've ever seen before, and now we're going to find out the answer to your question. I am cautiously optimistic that no, we're not going to see a significant opposition. My theory is that at least for some of these compounds, maybe not all of them, the major pharmaceutical companies are happy to let other people assume the cost of getting these drugs approved, and then they will roll out their versions of these drugs into their existing supply chains and seize those profits for themselves.
Or just try to acquire them.
Yeah, you can follow up. Do you want to let Brian answer first before you follow up? Oh, do you want to follow up first? Okay.
The question is, now I lost my train of thought. So,
Okay, yeah. Brian, do you want to?
Yeah, no, I was just going to say, so up until this point, Big Pharma has not really put a significant investment in psychedelics. It's been really startup companies that have really kind of come on board and done a lot of the hard legwork and put a lot of the money in, funded by philanthropists and also people that just have a commercial interest and believe in this particular, round of business. So I think that, like Logan said, I think Big Pharma is going to allow these startups to do the hard work, and then they're going to come in later and try to acquire them, is my guess.
If y'all have time, when you go home this evening, and please, when you do, I'll list this website URL, just immediately scroll as quickly as you can past my picture to get to where it says who's involved and why. You want to go to a website that is called revelleadvisors.com/Ibogaine, and that is REVEILLE advisors.com/Ibogaine. Two gentlemen, one's name is Wes, another gentleman by the name of Rob, who is a Special Forces veteran who honors us with his presence here this evening, donated hundreds of pro bono hours to develop a forensic examination quality of every penny that went into the pocket of the current Kentucky Governor, Andy Beshear, Democrat, the current Kentucky Attorney General, Republican, and the University of Kentucky, from the purveyors within the world of opioid addiction treatment of what's called the evidence-based best practices, also known as opioid maintenance medication. Medication that is opioid to deal with opioid dependency. Now, I'm not here to inveigh against it, to say that it needs to be banned, to say that it needs to be outlawed, and to say that anybody who advocates for it needs to be chased out of their state. It has saved thousands of lives. It's better than nothing. We must improve. We must improve based on the empirical results. And the other reality is the companies that created the problem are the same companies that create the evidence-based best practices treatment. In 2019, the largest settlement with an opioid manufacturer was negotiated directly by the federal government, and this was before these multi-state settlements. That settlement was achieved pursuant to the Justice's Department in criminal indictment, followed by a guilty plea of a corporate actor known as Indivior. Indivior is the parent company and patent holder of name brand Suboxone, and they tendered a guilty plea to engaging in an illicit scheme to increase the issuance of Suboxone prescriptions nationwide. They paid almost $2 billion to the federal government by way of a fine, which in their monetary terms is just the cost of doing business, and a second $600 million fine to the state of Massachusetts Department of Medicaid for making material misrepresentations which understated the risk of Suboxone exposure to children. The manufacturer of the evidence-based best practices is a convicted federal criminal. Remember it. Because as we go through this exercise in Texas, assuming we are successful, there's going to be tremendous disruption of a business model that relies upon a condition of chronicity that administers a habituating opioid to a person for the rest of their lives for as long as they live. Those days are going to be over, and they know it. That project was killed in Kentucky by their functionaries, and the most enduring